front of the Jack O'Donnell Visitor Center, located in beautiful San Benito County Historical Park. My name is Don Pidd, and I will be your host as we explore the history of San Benito County. I want to invite you inside as we begin our journey. Hi Peter, welcome to the village.
Morning, Don.
This is Peter Sonnet. He's the president of the San Benito County Historical Society. And Peter, I'd like to have you tell us briefly the beginnings of the Historical Society.
The San Benito County Historical Society was formed in July 1956 by 32 charter members led by Bill Achilles, who was the first president. At that point they established their bylaws, established dues, and they continued from that point.
What's the mission of the Historical Society?
To preserve, promote, and collect local objects of historical significance from within the county.
Oh, that's great. Where do they store these artifacts?
In the beginning, they located the old maids' quarters behind the Waffle House in Hollister at 498 Fifth Street. And at that point, they began moving artifacts in that small structure. And somewhere in the 1980s, late 1980s, they actually moved into the main Waffle House itself, and which gave them a lot more room. So that has been the main focal point of collections at that point.
How about larger items that have been donated or collected?
In around 1977, the group was led by Dick Hill, who rescued a local structure that was built in 1868. It was the Sullivan House. And at that point, as I said, it was the oldest wooden structure in Hollister. It was slated to be used as a practice burn by the Hollister Fire Department. In dilapidated condition as it was, they removed it out to a county park 1 mile south of Tres Pinos. Set the building up, restored it completely, and that became the nucleus of the historical village. And at that point that park is now the main location for larger artifacts such as farming implements. More historical structures have been brought in, and that continues to function today.
So there are other buildings besides the Sullivan House located at the park?
Yeah, there's, for instance, there's a circa 1895 saloon that was located north of Hollister. That was donated by the Dassa family. That building was brought out to the park and over the years restored. Another one is circa 1900 Garcia House, which was also located near the city of Hollister. That was brought out in about 1999 or 2000, and over the years, just recently that was restored as well, and also houses our new visitors center. There's the 1974 Willow Creek Schoolhouse that was brought from the southern part of the county. Again, that was in extremely dilapidated condition, and over the years that was restored. So there's a few other buildings as well, and that is an ongoing project with the restoration project.
How do volunteers and members of the society participate in creating and maintaining the park?
That's always a hard source to deal with, locating new volunteers, and what we strive to do is make as much opportunity as possible for volunteers to come out and offer services, anything from gardening to carpentry to painting, engine repair, and so if it weren't for volunteers from within the community and what volunteers we can utilize from the society itself, we wouldn't be as far along as we are today. So any volunteer force that we get, whether it be for a few hours or a few days or a few months or an ongoing basis, is greatly appreciated. And as I said, we wouldn't be near the point we are today without a volunteer that pops in from that time to time.
So where does the funding come from to create and maintain this facility?
Most of the funding comes from either membership drives to obtain extra monies to help relocate some of the buildings or restoration. Community Foundation has been a big asset over the years. Any grants that we can latch on to, we work with as best possible.
How important is the Community Foundation in helping us as an organization and also keeping funding in the community, which seems to be a big problem?
Yeah, it is a big problem. Excuse me. Within the last 6 years, for instance, the Historical Society has received probably over $15,000 in funding from Community Foundation itself. And the purpose of that funding is multifaceted. It can be used for obtaining archival supplies, materials, to help us preserve our artifacts, materials needed to upkeep the buildings, maintain them, materials needed to restore the buildings, and the list goes on. And what a lot of people aren't aware of is that more money is lost through donations outside the community than is kept in. So when someone has, for instance, a trust or in their will, more times than not, it's just a proven statistic that more funding goes outside the community than stays in.
Okay. I know there was a large event here recently at the park. It was an engine show. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about that event?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an annual antique gas engine and tractor show that the Society hosts, and the Early Day Gas Engine and Tractor Association, the Branch 3, which is mainly housed or located in Santa Clara County. Members come with various pieces of equipment to display, and some of those pieces can be anywhere from 60 to 100 years old, and once set up, a lot of them will be running, operating various other implements, a lot of belt-driven type equipment, and that offers the public an opportunity to view what implements and machinery was available to the farmer or rancher in early 19th century America.
Well, that's neat. Are there other major events that go on out here at the park at this point?
In the latter part of September of the past 5 years, we've hosted our annual Civil War reenactment, which is put on by the National Civil War Association. So that'll be usually a 3-day event, and they start Fridays off with school days, and we usually have a number of classes that come out of school grade kids, and they're able to walk around and visit some of the various encampments, talk with the reenactors and interpreters, view village scenes, other scenarios going on within some of the buildings themselves, and actually almost become a part of that time period.
That's a great way to learn history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there are there other events that are planned for the park?
We have several other events that are in the making. One is we hope to have a fundraising project for a building that was damaged about 6 years ago in a storm, and if that goes according to plan, then hopefully we'll raise enough funding to begin rebuilding that structure. We've also just had a new event occur, which is a wine and food event, and that was it was well attended, and people could come in and for the cost of a ticket offer to them a selection of wine to taste and food to enjoy, and they had some raffles to go along with that. So that was a success, and all that funding is utilized to be dealt with and distributed within the Historical Society itself.
If people are interested in becoming members, volunteering, or just getting more information about the society, the museum, and the park, is there a location that they can go to online to get that information?
Yes, we have a website. They can go to www.sbchistoricsociety.org and visit our website, and they can download an application. We do have a PayPal account which they can access through the computer system, the website, and if need be, they can visit the museum at 498 5th Street in Hollister on Saturday and Sunday and visit that and pick up an application, or they can come out to the historical park and visit the visitor center and pick up an app there as well.
A lot of people remember that the park was only available like 5 or 6 months out of the year. Mm-hmm. What changed to make that make this a year-round park now?
Yeah, the time period from about 1977, as I said earlier, when the first building was brought out and restored, up until about excuse me, 2004, 2005, there was just a low water crossing over the Tres Pinos Creek. So from the end of May period until October, that was about the only time period which people could cross. There was as I said, a culvert that was put in, and that would allow access. Well, once that was pulled out at the end of the season by the Fish and Game, the park was not able to be accessed by public or much of the membership to maintain it. So over the next so many years, that became a real problem, because when we weren't able to get out here as much as possible, we had a problem with weeds growing every direction. You know, buildings needed to be attended to. So there was a move to utilize funds that were available to the county to install a permanent bridge, and that funding came about from the winter storms of 1998 and 1999 that washed out the culvert. So that became automatically on the list for FEMA funding through the federal government. And it took a while, but once the monies were accessed, the work on the bridge was started, and about a year and a half later, around 2004, the bridge was completed, and so that allowed access to the park 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Now, there's a historical park out here, a historical village that people can come to, mm-hmm. but are there other available activities for them to participate in? There's
a wonderful picnic area. There's a number of areas that can be rented either individually or as a whole. There is fairly new playground equipment that's been installed through grant funding that the county has installed. There's a new hiking trail, a nature trail that's just recently been completed. And of course you have the historical village itself, where people can walk and enjoy looking at the buildings, and at the far end where the implements are housed, you know, they can enjoy that as well.
How important has it been for the youth of the community, and how have they helped with getting things going?
Yeah, that's a real plus for us, because we have ongoing projects that involve Boy and Girl Scout, 4-H, for instance, the Boy Scout on Eco Scout projects have began and completed a number of major projects at the park that without their assistance, the Historical Society would still be trying to figure out how to get them done, just because of lack of manpower. The 4-H, for instance, have ongoing projects around several of the buildings involving gardening, landscaping, irrigation, and other projects. So for instance, with the Civil War reenactment, our parking gets to be a little bit of a problem, and lack of assistance and enough volunteers to help with that. The Boy Scouts come out, camp for the weekend, and their off time get to mingle with the Civil War reenactors and interpreters, and then during working hours, then they divide up into groups and direct people where to park and collect funds and monies and situations like that. So that's a real big plus for us, and it enables them to feel a sense of accomplishment. And one thing also at our recent gas engine event, that group of Boy Scouts came out, helped direct people where to park, offered assistance, and in return they broke up into several different groups, so each group was able to work with members of that engine group and work on a merit badge involving gas and diesel engines. So they were able to accomplish several things that day, which was offer community assistance in the Historical Society and earn a merit badge for the project as well.
It's been really phenomenal what's occurred over the last 55 years out here, and the participation of the community and stuff. What's your personal vision for the future of the society?
Well, I see the society continuing to move ahead. I mean, at times it's going to be at a slow pace just because, as we've talked about, volunteers work is always at a premium and very much needed, and funding is a big problem, locating funding. But I see the Historical Society continuing to move ahead, and more buildings brought in over the future, the village itself, the historic district being enlarged, more community functions, more fundraising functions. Hopefully more and more people from within the community and outside the community will come and enjoy the park, and hopefully we'll continue with working with our youth from within the community. And we never know what objects are out there that will be offered to us for add to our collections or to be preserved, but we're always ready for that to come along.
That's great. Peter, I want to thank you for your fantastic leadership and for visiting us here at the village today.
Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.
We'd like to introduce you to the best kept secret in San Benito County. The San Benito County Historical Park, located 1 mile south of Tres Pinos on Highway 25 across from the Bellado Golf Course, is open every day from dawn to dusk. The Historical Park has a large display of agricultural equipment, from horse-drawn wagons to early-day tractors, donated from farms and ranches across San Benito County. The jewel of the park is the historical village, with restored 1800-era buildings relocated to the site from throughout the county, including the Sullivan House, the Willow Creek School, the Woods Cabin, Hose Company No. 2, one of the 3 original firehouses in Hollister, the Cottage, an 1800s saloon, and the Garcia House, currently being renovated to house a visitor center where you will be able to get information about the park and other area recreational sites and activities. To volunteer for a park project or schedule a tour of your historical park, contact Don Pidd at 831-902-9349 or visit anytime and stroll through the village for a feel of life in San Benito County in the late 1800s. For more information or to become a member, visit our website at sbchistoricalsociety.org. The San Benito County Historical Society is dedicated to preserving the past for future generations.
The dance hall was built in 1890 in San Benito County. It's been used as a mechanics auto repair shop, an electrician shop, a telephone line installer shop, and Grunrow radio sales and service shop. These were all in and out of the building during the early part of the 1900s to the end of the 1920s. Local area resident Chester Bromley purchased the building in 1923. John Steinbeck mentioned the Four Corners, Dunville, and the building in one of his novels. He also had close relatives living in and around Hollister, which he visited. At various times throughout the years, the building was used to hold dances for local area residents in the 1890s up until the early 1920s. The dance hall was moved to the historical park in 3 sections in 1992. The building was a key figure as an income producer for the Historical Society, with such events as the National Civil War Association Reenactment Site, which enabled the dance hall to be used for a large field hospital set up complete with period equipment and interpreters. 800 to 1,000 local school children were able to view the interpretive site and structure. The dance hall has been used for 4-H, Boy and Girl Scout meetings and activities, as well as a classroom for hunter safety courses. Local schools were beginning to inquire as to the availability of the hall. Other activities for interpretation to present for the public and school viewing were Old West gunfight reenactments with period gamblers and dance hall girls dressed in period attire. Several local chamber mixers were held at the site, as well as private functions, such as weddings, receptions, and family reunions. The dance hall was a cornerstone for the village at the historical park, with its massive false front, and when one stepped inside, the very high open hand-hewn beams held together with square nails always brought a gasp by first-time visitors. Everyone was always amazed how the building inside and out took you back in time to the late 19th century. You could almost hear the sounds of people and horses moving outside, busy with life such as it was in that time period. On New Year's weekend 2006, a storm demolished the hall. This is the reason why the Historical Society is trying to bring this grand old historic structure back to life, to allow the residents of San Benito County and future residents to have the opportunity to try to imagine what life was like in another time period in history in their community. The San Benito County Historical Society is currently seeking donations for the dance hall restoration. All donations are tax deductible.
Thank you for visiting us in the village. I hope you will join us again as we continue to explore the history of San Benito County.